What if one man's ruthless ambition could shatter an empire, but was halted by an unlikely alliance? Imagine the terror of the Huns sweeping across Europe like a wildfire. In 451 AD, the world teetered on the edge. Enter Flavius Idius, the last great Roman general, forging a desperate pact with his old enemies, the Visigoths. But could bitter rivals truly unite against a common foe? Attila the Hun, Scourge of God, had already ravaged the east. Now he eyed the heart of Rome. His hordes were unstoppable, driven by fear and greed. Attila wasn't just conquering, he was auditioning for history's biggest villain role. Legends say he claimed divine right to rule the world. Wow, talk about ego. Secret meetings, fragile trusts, would betrayal lurk in the shadows. The stage was set on the vast Catalaunian Plains in Gaul. What happens when hundreds of thousands of warriors collide in a fight for civilization's soul? June 20th, 451, the clash erupted like thunder. Theodoric led the Visigoths in a ferocious assault. Wow, their fury was legendary. But Attila's tactics were cunning, flanks crumbling, heroes falling. Tragedy struck. Theodoric was slain, trampled under hooves. Yet his son, Thorismund, rose, turning grief into brutal vengeance. Could this be the turning point? The fields ran red, losses mounting to a staggering number by dawn. Edis's genius held the line, Romans and Goths fighting as one. As darkness descended, who would claim victory? Attila, the invincible, was forced to withdraw. Wow, the Hun tide was broken. The aftermath was a scene from a nightmare. The fields were littered with the fallen, the ground soaked in blood. Survivors, weary and wounded, stared across a landscape of death. Legends inflate the numbers to hundreds of thousands, a bloodbath that saved the West. Attila probably needed a therapist after that ego bruise. Idius was hailed as a hero, but a chilling question lingered. Was this alliance's cost worth the empire's survival? The Battle of the Catalaunian Plains became a legend, a moment where bravery halted barbarism. Idius, Theodoric, Attila, these names would echo through the ages. Yet Attila lived on, plotting his next move. Thorismund had avenged his father, but the war wasn't over. Would the Huns rise again, or fade into legend? Edis's victory bought time, but at what brutal price? Losses tallied up to 300,000 souls. The battle wasn't just about swords and shields. It was a high-stakes chess match. Idius knew Attila's mind. He had spent years as a hostage among the Huns and understood their tactics. He used this knowledge to anticipate Attila's every move, turning the Hunnic horde's aggression against itself. Imagine the pressure, knowing one wrong decision could doom the Western Roman Empire. Idius placed the Visigoths on one flank and his own Roman legions on the other, creating a deadly pincer. But the center was weak intentionally. It was a trap. He lured Attila's main force into a chaotic melee, a swirling vortex of death, while his flanks closed in. Sheer tactical brilliance, but how long could this fragile coalition hold? Every man fought with the desperate courage of the doomed. The fate of generations hung on every sword stroke. When the dust settled, Attila was cornered, barricaded behind a circle of wagons. He was so sure of defeat, he had a funeral pyre built, ready to throw himself into the flames rather than be captured. But Idius made a controversial call. He let Attila escape. Why? Was it a mistake or another stroke of genius? Idius feared that if the Huns were completely destroyed, his Visigothic allies would become too powerful and turn on Rome itself. He needed to maintain a balance of power, so he let the wounded beast limp away, ensuring his allies had a reason to go home and defend their own lands. The gamble worked, the coalition dissolved, and Rome was safe for now. This decision cemented Edis's legacy as not just a warrior, but a master strategist. The Catalaunian Plains was more than a battle. It was the end of an era. It was one of the last great victories for the Western Roman Empire before its final collapse. The sheer scale of the slaughter is almost impossible to comprehend. It was a clash of worlds, a brutal, bloody day that decided the future of Europe. Attila would return to invade Italy the following year, but his strength was broken, his aura of invincibility shattered. He died shortly after, not in battle, but in a rather anticlimactic way. His empire crumbled as quickly as it had formed. The battle stands as a testament to what can be achieved when bitter enemies unite against a greater threat. It's a story of courage, sacrifice.
If you enjoyed this story, strike the like button and follow the channel.